I wanted to show a video of Vice President J.D. Vance talking at some rally, and he's answering a question to some young guy about what Israel is, and you can see clearly he's distancing himself from Israel, saying, "Listen, Israel is an ally, but there's no special special status for Israel." And then it's very interesting at the end of the video, he says what is special to him about Israel.
Sometimes they have similar interests to the United States, and we're going to work with them in that case. Sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. In this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the President of the United States could only get that peace deal done by actually being willing to apply leverage to the state of Israel. So when people say that Israel...
So according to J.D. Vance, pressure was applied to Israel to accept this so-called...
It wasn't our agreement. We didn't want to do the thing, but he made us do the thing.
Right. We didn't want to stop the war and cut a half of Gaza and give it to Hamas to control. Not a good idea. But the Americans forced us, says J.D. Vance.
Piece of information, duly noted.
Okay.
Manipulating or controlling the President of the United States. They're not controlling this President of the United States, which is one of the reasons why we'd be able to have some of the success that we've had in the Middle East. Now, you ask about...
Did he just insinuate that Israel's manipulating, controlling Israel and the United States, but not this president, and that's why there's successes in the Middle East? Not that Israel is a central partner for successes in the Middle East, that we're pushing back on jihadism, and there's nobody else that's pushing back on jihadism, and we're fighting against the the Houthi government in Yemen, and pushing back against Assad, and pushing back against Iran wants to destroy the United States. Like, we're not an unbreakable partner. We're actually people who Israel is somehow something that unduly influences the United States, but not this president. Is that what you heard?
I don't remember hearing Obama say anything like that.
The what?
That Israel's manipulative and that we have to be forced to do things. I don't remember that. It's a nasty little shift.
It's a nasty little shift. I like that. Okay, let's keep going.
Sort of Jews disagreeing with Christians on certain religious ideas. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the realities is that Jews do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. Obviously, Christians do believe that. There are some significant theological disagreements between Christians and Jews. My attitude is, let's have those conversations. Let's have those disagreements when we have them. But if there are shared areas of interest, we ought to be willing to do that too. For example, I really care about one thing.
Okay, so he goes out of his way to be like, there's this big theological disagreement. There is a big theological disagreement. He's absolutely right. But it was just like a weird thing to say again, right? It's like,
well, what was the question? Maybe it had to do with the question.
Yeah, I don't know what the question was, but basically he is outlining what Israel, what we agree on and what we don't agree on. And so in this case, he says, we have this big disagreement. Now, you know what I always say in situations like this? I say, let's agree to agree, right? I'm always talking about what unites us,
right?
But in this case,
common ground,
right? But find common ground. But then in the end, what he says is like, well, there's this thing that we don't agree on, and here's what he says we do agree on.
Really, really care about is the preservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Christians believe that is the site where Jesus Christ was crucified, and also that his tomb is right there as well. My attitude is, if we can work with our friends in Israel to make sure that Christians have safe access to that site, that's an obvious area of common interest. I am fine with that.
That is the area of common interest? It's like Christians have been able to visit that site ever since Israel took control of the old city in 1967. Like, that's the big deal that he wants to work on together, not to better the world, not to further the Abraham Accords. Certainly, I see that he doesn't see the protection and of Israel and making sure that biblical thing comes to fruition. I see that that's not part of what his central agenda is. Like, his agenda is this place that's important to Christianity. Make sure that it's open. It's open, bro. What are we working on here?
I think it's way bigger than that.
Okay.
And I think that we should all freeze this moment in time and remember this speech for later. J.D. Vance is going to be running for president of the United States. He knows it. I know it. You guys know it. We all know it, okay? And all the video is going to come up later. This was a question. This question really was a springboard for J.D. Vance to talk about the relationship between the United States and Israel.
Right.
And what is it that how does the United States approach Israel, at least in the J.D. Vance vision? The nicest thing that he could think of to say, the only thing, if he's trying to give some benefit of the doubt for those manipulative Jews, is that we make sure he can go to his church. This is a big deal, okay? It is not a small deal. J.D. Vance trying to figure out what he can say nice about Israel, couldn't find anything.
Okay, so basically there was three things, right? One, we had to strong arm Israel. Two, Israel is generally manipulative, but this particular president is able to withstand it. And three, get me to my church on time.
That's fine. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? And if I were a Christian, I would probably appreciate that too, right? That Israel, even though it's a Jewish state, maintains the holy sites of the Christianity, and it's respectful and all that stuff. That is correct. But there's more, right? There's more to it than that. And if you like, I've seen now over the course of my not that short life, many politicians talk about Israel. I've seen people criticize Israel, and I've seen people praise Israel. And if I had to put J.D. Vance on the spectrum between praising Israel and criticizing Israel, there's no question that this was not a praising Israel. This is not a politician. This is not a potential leader who like has good feelings about maybe the Jews, because he did even mention like, here's the difference between Christians and Jews, which is one of those like taboo little things that we don't always talk about in public. You know what I mean? But he like went there, and he just,
oh, you're right. So basically it's like, we had to strong arm Israel.
Yeah.
Two,
we all know that Jews don't believe in our.
No, number two is like
correct.
they infiltrate our government and tell us what to do. Not with this president, though.
Right.
Come on, we all know that they don't believe what we believe, which is the truth and the only way to salvation.
They are not truth believers,
right? And
they, but they have good police, and they're nice about that, and that's all I care about. He literally said, "That's all I care." I think he said the words, "That's all I care about."
He says, I care a lot about this. All right, let's finish up with JD.
What I'm not okay with is any country coming before the interests of American citizens. And it is important for all of us, assuming we're American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's what we're going to do. That's what we try to do every single day. I promise you.
Did you hear that, Malka? What was in that one?
So I don't mind the United States putting its interest first.
No, but there was a subtle hint. There's a subtle dig. And the dig goes back to the beginning, which is like, the dual loyalty thing.
I didn't see that.
It was like it, because you have to read the rest of the stuff that they're putting out in that world, and they're always saying, Israel has got this other country that they care about. American Jews have this other country that they care about. So a subtle thing is like, as long as you put America first, I understand that, but the point is, there's a hint in there. Everything that he said had these little hints of well, let's just put it this way. He doesn't love Israel. Let's just put it that way.
He does not love Israel. No.
He doesn't love Israel. Okay, JD, but I got to tell you that there are thousands just on my show and millions in the United States and billions around the world that love Israel and think that it is the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is a godly prophecy coming true, a godly thing that's happening in this world. And so many people understand what God is doing and want to be part of it. Says Generation Jacob 6760. He says a Catholic will never be a Zionist. Well, I have to tell you that I have a deeply Catholic friend who's a deep Zionist, but his point, the commenter right now, his point is also understandable. There's something very classic about JD's, like what I heard was a kind of crusader talk. Like crusaders were like, the most important thing is the sepulcher. We got to, maintain that thing. And the rest, Israel is actually more of a problem and a hindrance than anything. But okay, there's a sepulcher.
Right.
And we got to go about that.
I think it goes back to something you said before, Yishai, which is that, you and I and people like us and a lot of also the non-Jewish listeners and viewers here to your show understand that we live the kind of life where it is beneficial and even like maybe pleasing to God to find the common ground and to find what it is that we do agree on. Obviously, Judaism is not Christianity and Christianity is not Judaism. We all know this. And yet we manage to maintain a beautiful relationship between us, the Jewish people, and many people who espouse themselves to be Christians, who understand that we have a common goal and a common purpose and a God that we want to serve, and we believe that we can serve him together. And even though we don't necessarily understand it all the same way, we have those positive feelings and that positive understanding. And JD went out of his way to make sure people know that he does not see it that way.
Right. That's right.
That he is not interested in the common ground, and he's not going to give lip service to all that, Old Testament, Abraham, none of that stuff. He's not interested in any of it. He is interested in his holy site, in his narrative, in his vision. And fair enough, right? Like, he's entitled to that, and he's a smart man and he's a free person, but like, I heard it, right? Yeah. We heard it, and we're not going to unhear it.
He may be a Christian, but he ain't no Christian Zionist. That's for sure.
No,
he does not see
that.
He's
a Tucker Carlson.
Right. Okay. Now check this out. Let's switch gears and go to another dude that made a humongous splash this week. 10 million views at least when I saw it last. And that is Kevin Roberts, who's the head of the Heritage Foundation, major #1 think tank, conservative think tank in the United States. Here's what he had to say, Malka. Check this out.
To say on this in the coming days, but today I want to be clear about one thing. Christians can critique the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic.
Duh. Okay. Thanks, bro. Everybody knows that, and also Jews. Also Jews can critique the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic. So thanks a lot. We get it. And you know what? Nobody ever said different.
Right. And Jews can critique, a Christian and not be anti-Christian as well.
Right. Or critique America and not be anti-America. Okay.
Right. Of course, anti-Semitism should be condemned. My loyalty as a Christian and as an American is to Christ first and to America always. When it serves the interests of the United States to cooperate with Israel and other allies, we should do so with partnerships on security, intelligence, and technology.
Notice, Maka, same language as JD Vance, right? Like, there are places that we can work in concert together with Israel on these technical things.
Okay. I agree with that.
I do agree with that, but there's a but coming. And
all right, let's hear it.
Okay, let's hear it.
But when it doesn't, conservatives should feel no obligation to reflexively support any foreign government, no matter how loud the pressure becomes from the globalist class or from their mouthpieces in Washington.
Oh, what was that about?
That was mean.
First thing I just want to say that just and this is not an apologetic, not all Jews are globalists. Okay. Okay.
I'm a nationalist.
I'm a Jewish nationalist. And I, whatever basically Texas believes in, except for Christianity, but the values of the Bible, the values of nationalism, the values of defense, I believe in. But what was he saying here? What was this but about? Remember, and notice that the but, he went to like any other country that comes before America. That's not good.
Maybe he means Qatar, Yishai.
No, because he started the thing clearly saying, you don't have to reflexively follow the Jewish. We have some.
He didn't say Israel. I mean, he did talk about anti-Semitism.
No. He starts off with it being about Israel. Okay, here, look. He says.
There she is. Yep, I saw it.
Here, he says like this. Look.
When it serves the interests of the United States to cooperate with Israel and other allies, we should do so with partnerships on security, intelligence, and technology. But when it doesn't, conservatives should feel no obligation to reflexively support any foreign government, no matter how loud the pressure becomes from the globalist class or from their mouthpieces in Washington. The Heritage Foundation didn't become the intellectual backbone of the conservative movement by canceling our own people or policing the consciences of Christians. And we won't start doing that now. We don't take direction from comments on X, though we are grateful for the robust free speech debate. We also don't take direction from members or donors, though we are inherently grateful for their support. And we're adding more every day. This is the robust debate we invite with our colleagues, our movement friends, our members, and the American public. We will always defend truth. We will always defend America, and we will always defend our friends against the slander of bad actors who serve someone else's agenda. That includes Tucker Carlson, who remains, and as I have said before, always will be a close friend of the Heritage Foundation.
Why is Tucker Carlson always going to be friend of the Heritage Foundation? What if he becomes anti your values? What if he starts saying things like Sharia law is okay? Or maybe he starts saying that Churchill...
He did say Sharia law
right,
is okay.
I'm saying, or that Churchill is actually a villain, but Hitler is a misunderstood victim. What if he starts saying that Israel is not God's project, and that America is blessed through supporting this godly project? Why so reflexively are you defending this guy Tucker Carlson? Why? I mean, if you're so into a robust debate, why are you so uptight about debating this?
It's part of the robust debate.
I mean, what the robust debate is that you will forever, no matter what, defend the fearless leader, Tucker Carlson. Like, what's this about? What's this about? And, and you could hear it. There's the words. There's the but about Israel. There's the globalist class. There's this, this guy Tucker Carlson who's taking on Israel in an almost, what's the word I'm looking for, Malka? When you keep on thinking about something over and over again, like he's obsessed with Israel. So, what's this great support for him? Let's keep listening.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division.
I am not part of any venomous coalition, bro. And I'm going to attack him. I'm not part of any venomous coalition. I'm just against somebody who's trying to attack me and trying to take away my story and trying to take away the partnerships that we've built for a long time. But I'm not part of any venomous coalition. But I'm going to attack this guy because he's sowing hate and lies about Israel, and also genocide lies and all the major lies that he's doing out there.
Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, the American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate. And we have seen success in this approach as we continue to dismantle the vile ideas of the left. As my friend Vice President Vance said last night, what I am not okay with is any country coming before the interest of American citizens, and it is important for all of us, assuming we are American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's where our allegiance lies.
You notice, by the way, there's something that he repeated and that Vance said as well, which is something about the American citizens, assuming we are American citizens. I think that they think that there's some kind of cabal, some kind of Jewish cabal. And maybe there are annoying Jewish donors or like, take off this evil Tucker Carlson. Maybe. I mean, just to be fair, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and what's his name? The MMA fighter
Jackson
guy.
Hinkle?
No, the MMA. What's his name?
I can't remember his name right now.
These are the top.
Scream it out in the comments, people. You know who we're talking about. Who is it?
These are the top folks out in the media. They're huge on all the platforms. They're gigantic. Joe Rogan. Sure,
Joe Rogan.
sure.
Thank you. Yes.
So it's like I'm sure that there's a lot of Jewish donors who are really concerned about this stuff and are calling and saying, "Hey, I'm really concerned. Why are you platforming this guy?"
Also, I want to say, like, this whole thing is about vigorous debate, like the vigorous debate. The Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, coffee clutch was not a debate. That was a schmooze between people who are happy to see each other and want to talk about the things that they like and jointly agree on. There was no debate that happened there. So, if
No,
I don't
but
think that people,
they're not talking about just that conversation. They're talking in general
but
about
it
that
was
these
a
people should not
reaction.
be
This video
canceled.
was a reaction to Tucker Carlson bringing Nick Fuentes on his show. And then Roberts goes on to say that he, believes in vigorous debate. You played it just now, and I abhor the things that Nick Fuentes says, but vigorous debate is part of our society or whatever. But people aren't upset because there was a vigorous debate that was part of our society, and they don't want vigorous debate. People were upset that Tucker just simply platformed the like monstrous ideas of a monster, Nick Fuentes, who openly hates a lot of people. Okay, openly hates a lot of people, and especially Jews.
Well, I'm going to be making a video about Nick Fuentes. I think there's more, a little bit. I think actually Tucker is an anti-Israel guy, and Fuentes is a little bit more nuanced. He's like a weird and interesting dude. And
I
some
know
of the
you
things
have
that he
a
says,
soft spot in your heart for Nick Fuentes.
I wouldn't say that exactly. I would just say that I think that we're going to hear him out. But the bottom line is that I have a feeling that Kevin Roberts has been approached by donors, Jewish donors. And by the way, they just released the list of top 10 global billionaires, and there's 6 of them who are Jewish. Okay, so I'm sure that
sorry, not sorry. Yeah.
Let's let
after
Kevin.
this, Isha, I gotta run. I gotta pick up our kid from sports.
I totally understand. Hold on one second.
And that's where it will stay.
Okay, that's where it'll stay. Heritage. Okay, great. Bottom line is that I just on the one hand, I want to tell Kevin Roberts, bro, don't worry. Nobody's taking away your vigorous debate. And I think part of what you don't like is that the folks that gave you guys money that you took very nicely when it suited you are like, we don't like this, is hurting our feelings. And so you think that that's taking away debate. No, it's just that some people just don't want to pay for your stuff. Just like President Trump doesn't want to pay for jihadism on Columbia campus. I don't think Jewish donors want to pay for anti-Israelism, being platformed. But moreover, like, don't worry so much, bro. Kevin, don't worry so much. Nobody's going to take away American free speech and debate. Israel is nothing on Qatar when it comes to influencing the United States. And what is the influence of Israel? What we want more liberties. We want more welfare and success for the peoples of this region. That we want less jihadism. Like the Qatari folks that are paying and bought the president of the United States that airplane, like they want some bad things that Heritage is not going to like. Okay, you know what? And I hope to God that Kevin Roberts isn't about to start taking money from the Qataris. He's like so concerned about what Israel and Jews are saying, and yet like his own friend Tucker is going against all of the heritage values. And he's like, he will forever be my friend. Our fearless leader will forever be my best friend. What's that?
Maybe they're really close friends.
I have no doubt. Malka Fleischer, thank you so much for being with us. And you are epic and goaty. You're very goat epic. You're the greatest of all time / epic.
Thanks.
And we want to wish you continued success and blessings from the God of Abraham and Sarah, Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Leah in the good land, the land of Israel, of which Israel is not just the caretaker of the sepulcher. No, it's actually the rebuilding of Jerusalem, a third temple. God is bringing the people home, and Heritage can be part of it or not part of it. Vance can be part of it or not part of it, but it is happening. God is doing great things, and there are millions of people who see it. And if you don't see it, then you're going to lose market share. You're going to lose some donors, and you're going to lose the plot because you just don't have it right. Malka Fleischer, thanks so much for being with us.
Bye-bye.
Everybody was really happy to see Malka. See, we're really happy to see Malka, and I was also happy to see Malka. All right.